Hi, this is our digital assignment number 1. It's about self-regulation and it's from Hannah, Jill and Emily.
My name's Hannah Manning and my issue to overcome is around student engagement. I want to change my learning so that students are more self-motivated and self-regulating.
Hi, this is Jill. An issue I have been dealing with recently is student engagement, especially the priority learners who've been identified at our school. I also find that some students have difficulty with self-regulation, and that means what should they be doing outside the classroom, inside the classroom, completing homework on time, that kind of thing.
Hi, I'm Emily, and an issue I have been having is with students' self-regulation and motivation, particularly with my Year 11 art class. I want to develop my teaching to encourage and foster engagement and self-regulation through individual and collaborative approaches.
After some discussion, we realised that the common themes are student engagement, motivation, and especially self-regulation. The 21st century skill that we are concentrating on in this presentation is that of self-regulation. Self-regulation is a lifelong skill. It shows that learners can manage and monitor their own progress, use feedback effectively, and create opportunities for themselves to learn or improve their skills. This gives learners responsibility for their own learning and accountability to others, and an ability to work in a 21st century environment where innovative technology and collaboration are key skills. We have decided that students as well as teachers are instrumental in giving students opportunities to develop these skills. They can provide clarity around learning objectives and success criteria too, including timely feedback, which students use to create their own actions and plans for successes. Some learning theories to support this skill are, firstly, progressive education. John Dewey advocated the idea that students should be self-governing learners, with teachers only acting as guides. Also, the constructivism theory from Vygotsky makes it clear that learning takes place from a more knowledgeable other, which may or may not be the teacher. It could be another student in the group. Vygotsky also believed that teachers should be facilitators and not providers of information or knowledge. Finally, the theory of community of practice put forward by Lave and Wenger states that while engaging in authentic activities, students learn through social relationships and co-participation. In our presentation, we have used these decision steps for self-regulation. We have looked at long-term activities and students using learning goals and success criteria themselves in groups. We have looked at students planning their own work, and we've looked at students having the opportunity to revise their own work based on at least 2 moments of feedback during the process.
Our aim is for students to be able to self-regulate their learning, self-motivate, and develop student agency. We give students the ability of choice within a broad framework set by the teacher. Our desire is for them to be self-reflective individually and collaboratively. We want to scaffold their understanding of and skills in self-regulation, planning their work, and to be engaged and motivated. Students will not be thrown into the unknown, but will be guided towards learner agency through a series of tasks that involve reflection and feedback. Our motivation and inspiration stems from beliefs grounded in self-efficacy and the notion that if the students take ownership of their learning and self-regulation process will be enhanced and enriched. Bandura has said that the perceived self-efficacy is defined as people's beliefs about their capabilities to produce designated levels of performance that exercise influence over events that affect their lives. Self-efficacy beliefs determine how people think, feel, motivate themselves, and behave. In developing strong self-efficacy in students, they will build resilience and problem-solving strategies used to achieve goals that they have set themselves. Failure and setbacks will be seen as stepping points to achievement, not as reasons to give up. They will take control of their learning and in doing so become more confident, and learning will be student-driven and inquiry-based rather than spoon-fed. Learning has a positive approach where deficiencies and difficulties are seen as things to improve on, not as weaknesses to hide. Bandura discusses the importance of observation and modelling on the learning process. Informing discussions about their work and that of their peers, students will formulate ways of communicating their ideas and inevitably clarify their own thoughts as they do so. According to Bandura, seeing people similar to oneself succeed by sustained effort raises observers' beliefs that they too possess the capabilities to master comparable activities required to succeed. The series of digital and collaborative tasks that the students undertake will give them the opportunity to plan their workload, to self-assess, to place themselves within the framework of achievement, and also to determine where they sit in relation to their peers. They will be given feedback and the opportunity to review and revise before final assessment. We want to address the SAMR model to achieve redefinition of how feedback is given.
This is our blueprint or proposed plan. First of all, we need to set up the task with our students. The teacher should plan a collaborative group task, and we would recommend between 2 and 4 students. This collaborative group task should reach step 5 in the collaboration rubric. Key points to consider are the students making substantive decisions together, and is their work interdependent? Students then need to decide on key roles for all members within the group. They need to assign these key roles. Students will also need to decide on a timeline and the checkpoints that they will need within that timeline to complete the task. In terms of self-regulation, it's going to be a series of chances to give feedback and self-assess. The first thing that needs to happen is students give feedback on their peers using a digital form or rubric such as Google Forms, Erasmus, or another innovative digital technology. They will comment on where they are on their timeline and whether they have met a checkpoint as well as fulfilled their key role. Each student within a group is given a chance to revise their own work based on the feedback from their group members. Students will then self-assess on their ability to collaborate within the group and at what level they are meeting the success criteria so far. This step should be done midway through the project. Each student is then given a chance to revise their work based on their self-assessment prior to hand-in. Our proposed implementation of innovations are as follows. For me, my name's Hannah, my students are going to be in groups and they decide on a key feature of a text they'll design a learning tool for the rest of the class to learn from. Students will need to set a timeline and assign roles to get the task completed in time and to a standard that will enable others to learn from their learning tool that they have created. Students will reflect several times through the task to make sure they are meeting expectations set by the group and that the roles defined by the group are effective.
My Year 9 Spanish students will be working on a task. While working on that task, they will be creating a digital feedback form or rubric which every student in the group gets and fills in based on the group tasks and roles. Then each student will make a short film in which they reflect on their participation in the group so far, looking at the feedback they've received from the other students in the group. Each student then acts on this feedback and their reflection to improve their product.
Year 10 students could create artworks to submit for a collaborative exhibition in which they could come up with their own theme. Using Erasmus, students will record a short video clip that introduces and presents their work. At the exhibition, the viewers of their artwork would be able to listen to the artist's concept and art-making process. They will then use these recordings to self-assess and to peer-assess as to how successful their artwork was in communicating their ideas in a visual manner.
Here are our references. Firstly, SAMR, with the accent on redefining the tasks. Secondly, Bandura. Thirdly, another article by Bandura, and he was also mentioned in the video below. Thirdly, we used a lot of information from the ITL research rubrics, which we all agree are extremely useful. And finally, Dr. David Parsons' Top 10 Learning Theories for Digital and Collaborative Learning. Thank you very much for listening.